Hi guys, welcome back. So today in preparation to 3.15 patch, I will be introducing a league starter option, the Necromancer Minion army. This build can also be used as a leveling guide if you would like to transit into any other minion builds such as spectre or Carrion Golem. Just know that this build is meant to help you progress through the X much faster without any specific uniques or special spectres. And also this build is very capable of doing overlap solo in the early game. This is the rough stats of the build at a glance. The items on the path of building consist of very normal rare equipments with tier 4 to 5 life and resist. So the total life can go higher if you are able to get a tier 3 or higher life on your equipments. It also has many defensive layers, so don't worry about dying a lot. Just remember to keep using your Flasks at all times. As for the ratings for this build, the map clear speed is not very awesome but it's decent enough, and in return the single target damage is very high. Also, as mentioned earlier, this build has many defensive layers. We have about 60% physical damage reduction, and with a total life of 3.8k plus bone barrier from your class skills, our effective life is about at least 6k, so we will hardly ever get one shot by monsters. So the survivability for this build is also very high. Okay, let's talk about the Ascendancy. We'll be going for the Necromancer, and the first skill node you want to take is Commander of Darkness, which gives you aura from your skills grant 3% increased attack and cast speed, and you and nearby allies have 30% increased damage and elemental resistance. The second node you want to go for is Mindless Aggression, where your minions will have increased movement speed, damage and attack speed. So the third one you want to go for is Unnatural Strength, which plus 2 to all level of your minion skill gems, and the last one will be Bone Barrier, which gives you more survivability for both yourself and the minions. For the Pantheons and Bandits, the Pantheons we're going to go for the Soul of the Lunaris, which gives you additional physical damage reduction, and Soul of Gufku, which also gives you additional physical damage reduction, but only for each hit you have taken recently, up to a maximum of 5%. And for our bandits, my personal opinion is just kill all, as killing all will give you extra 2 passive points. For the skill tree, there are no important keystones to take. We are just aiming for minion nodes and life nodes. And there are multiple skill tree to check for what skill points to add after each act, as you can see I've shown over there. And if you are unable to transit into one of the minion builds like Carrion Golem focus or Spectral focus after Act 10, there is a level 80 skill tree for you to continue progression first until you get enough currency to transit into any one of the other minion builds. For the skill gems, there are different skill gems for each act to progress on, and once you have reached Act 4, I assume that most of your gems will be in place. So those with a double star in the names means that there are actually changes to the skill gems prior to the previous acts. As you can see, some of them, like under Act 2 here, there is 2 star behind the Raised Zombie, and there's 2 star behind the Summon Skeleton, means there are changes to this skill. So those without the 2 star means they actually retain the skill gems from the previous acts. Okay, so these are the skill gems you should be taking after Act 4. If you manage to get a 6 link body armor, you should be getting Summon Skeletons, Summon Carrion Golem, and then support them with all of the melee damage mods. So mainly minion damage, multi-strike, brutality and impale. So if you're unable to get a 6 link, there is a 5 link over here, and then also a 4 link over here. So I think most of the time we should be using the 4 link, because going through a new league starter is quite hard to get a 5 link or a 6 link for a start. For the 3 link on your first weapon, it will be utility skills. You're gonna use Flame Dash, Flash Offering and Steel Skin. So you can replace Steel Skin with Second Wind support or any other skill gems once you have completed Overlap, and use Bone Barrier for your guard skills. So the other 3 link on your second weapon will be also your utility, and you will have 1 curse, which will be Desecrate and Convocation, and the curse will be Assassin's Mark. For your falling, we will have a race spectre that will support you with all the frenzy charges and the power charges. For the other falling, we'll have the race zombie as also as a support, which will give you feeding frenzy. And the last falling will be your auras, which will have clarity, summon skitterbots, flesh and stone, and maim. For the clarity, I only leave it at level 5 because it is sufficient enough. You can always change clarity to something else such as precision or whatsoever. Something that requires low amount of mana. Even vitality is viable, but I prefer clarity because I'm lazy to use mana potions. For the jewels, since we have one spare jewel socket, I am putting in the Conqueror's Efficiency, and this jewel can be obtained from one of the quests in Act 8. It's not really important, but yeah, since we have a jewel socket, so why not? And you can always replace this with any other jewel. I just took this because I was preparing for my aura stacker build. For the gears, everything from top to bottom is just rare items with life and resistance other than your weapons. So always remember to prioritize your resistance first than life. Once your resistance is capped at 75%, then you can proceed to find more life on your items. Also always remember you can go to your hideout and benchcraft any resistances you are lacking. Okay, and in the notes section, I've shown the color links you will need to search for along the X. I've also prepared a special filter especially for this build where it shows the 3 to 4 links item with the correct color sockets when dropped. So just check the description for more information. So here are some important tips for your gears. You can always self-craft a +1 minion helmet along through the X. So step 1, sell to an NPC vendor any life flask. It can even be a small flask. +1 orb of transmutation, plus any rarity of bone spirit shield. So bone spirit shield, you can start obtaining them during Act 2 onwards, I think. And once you sell all 3 of them, you will get a life flask that grants you percentage life recovery to minions, which is the life flask of animation. So keep this flask aside in your stash first. And then step 2, sell to an NPC vendor a magic helmet +1 orb of alteration plus the life flask of animation that you have crafted previously. And the magic helmet is preferably something that you would want to wear on with a falling socket. So you can socket them either your skeletons or your Carrion Golem or even your zombies on it. So the next important thing is try to kill essence monsters, as essence is very awesome in the early game, especially essence of fear that adds minion mods and those essence that add resistance. If you manage to get an essence of fear, keep it and use it on your weapon first, as it gives you a huge damage boost to your minions. Also, you can always equip 2 weapons with 2 essence of fear for more damage instead of 1 weapon and 1 shield if you are feeling more confident. Okay, last but not least, our flasks. These are the 5 flasks that I recommend. So first will be the Quicksilver Flask of Adrenaline, which gives you additional movement speed. Granite Flask, which gives you additional armor and increased armor percentage during flask effect. Jade Flask, which gives you additional evasion rating and percentage increased evasion. Quartz Flask of Warding, which grants you immunity to curse, and there are additional dodge chance plus phasing as well. And Eternal Life Flask of Staunching, which grants you immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood. Okay guys, that comes to the end of my guide. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This guide is just to prepare you guys for the upcoming 3.15 patch, and there might be changes to this depending on the buffs or nerfs to minions in the 3.15 patch notes. Although even though I think that most likely it will be a nerf. But yeah, so just remember to check out for any updates in the description for the updated POB, as most of the information will be on the path of building pastebin. Also, thank you for watching. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.